Hey, welcome back. You know, sometimes the most important character in a story isn't the one shouting from the page. Sometimes it's the quiet presence in the corner of the scene, the one whose silence speaks louder than any monologue. I was thinking about this the other day, about who we listen to and who we overlook in the stories we tell. And it brought me right back to a book I first read in a musty library in Dhaka, A World Away from the Sea it describes. It brought me back to Moby-Dick. I'm Ibnul J. Farabi, and this is The Great Conversation. Today we're diving into the cold, dark waters of Herman Melville's American epic. But we're not chasing the white whale, and we're not following Captain Ahab. No, today we're stepping into the cramped bunk of the Pequod to sit with its true moral and narrative anchor. This is Episode 10, Moby-Dick's Unsung Genius, the Queequeg Theory. So, let's set the scene. Ishmael, our narrator, arrives in New Bedford, adrift and melancholic, and is forced to share a bed with a stranger, a tattooed cannibal harpooner just returned from the South Seas. This is Queequeg, and from this bizarre, intimate beginning, Melville gives us one of the most profound portraits of friendship in all of literature. But we often remember Queequeg as just that, Ishmael's exotic, loyal friend, the noble savage, a sidekick. And I think that's a profound misreading. I believe Queequeg is the unsung genius of the entire novel, the quiet engine of its deepest philosophy. Consider his introduction. Ishmael, a man of his time, is terrified. He sees the tattoos, the tomahawk, the shrunken head. He's expecting a monster. But what does Queequeg do? He calmly gets into bed, ignoring Ishmael's panic. The next morning, Ishmael wakes to find Queequeg's arm thrown over him in a gesture of startling, uncomplicated affection. And just like that, the terror evaporates. Melville is showing us something crucial here. Queequeg's entire being is a lesson in looking past the surface. His tattoos aren't just decoration. They're a text, a story of a complete theory of the heavens and the earth. He is a walking, breathing cosmology. While Ahab seeks to violently impose his own meaning onto the white whale, Queequeg already carries a coherent, peaceful understanding of the universe on his own skin. He doesn't need to chase meaning, he embodies it. This brings me to the first pillar of the Queequeg theory. He is the novel's true cosmopolitan. The Pequod is a floating Babel, a crew from every corner of the globe. And who is the one character who moves seamlessly among them all? It's Queequeg. He is a prince from a Pacific island who chooses to wander, not to conquer, but to understand. He's a skilled harpooner, a respected professional. He shares his wealth without a second thought, buying rounds for sailors who had just mocked him. He observes Christian worship with polite curiosity, then joins in with his own tiny idol, Yojo, suggesting they worship together. In a novel obsessed with isolation, Ahab's, Ishmael's, America's, Queequeg is the only true connector. He doesn't assimilate, he bridges. He is Melville's radical vision of a global citizen, decades before the term was coined. Now let's talk about skill. The mission of the Pequod is, ostensibly, a commercial whaling voyage. And in this practical realm, Queequeg is, without doubt, the most competent man aboard. His harpoon is an extension of his arm. He's the first to leap into a damaged whaleboat to fix it. When a sailor falls overboard, it's Queequeg who dives in for a heroic rescue. While Ahab is lost in his metaphysical revenge fantasy, and Ishmael is lost in his philosophical musings, Queequeg is the one doing. He is the practical intelligence that keeps the actual ship afloat. He represents a different kind of knowledge, not the speculative, tortured kind that drives Ahab mad, but the kind that comes from hands, from experience, from calm action in the face of chaos. In a world of talkers and dreamers, Queequeg is the essential man of deed. And this leads us to the most powerful part of his character, his confrontation with death. Midway through the voyage, Queequeg falls gravely ill. Believing it is his time, he requests a canoe-shaped coffin be built. He places his harpoon inside and calmly prepares to die. But then, he remembers a small duty on land he has left undone, and he simply decides not to die. He recovers. This moment is staggering. In a novel where death is an obsession, a specter, a final curse, Queequeg treats it with a mundane practicality. For him, death isn't a horror or a mystery. It's a transition to be managed with dignity and foresight. His coffin, that symbol of finality, is later caulked and turned into the ship's life buoy. And it is this very coffin buoy that eventually rises from the wreckage of the Pequod to save Ishmael, making him the sole survivor. Think about that. Ishmael is saved, literally, by the vessel of Queequeg's serene acceptance of death. It's the ultimate metaphor. Queequeg's philosophy, his calm, his connection, his practical spirituality, is the life preserver in the chaotic, destructive sea of Ahab's madness. Ishmael, the intellectual, the narrator, only lives to tell the tale because of the physical and metaphysical gift of his friend. Reading this as an immigrant, as someone who has had to build bridges between worlds, Queequeg's quiet genius resonates with me on a personal level. He isn't defined by the Pequod's destructive quest. He is there for his own reasons, for experience, for work, for friendship. He participates without being consumed. In a way, he is the antidote to Ahab's toxic, all-consuming individualism. Ahab sees only himself reflected in the whale's blank brow. Queequeg sees a connected world, and he finds his place within it through respect and skill. He is the quiet counterargument to the American narrative of ruthless pursuit. He pursues, instead, understanding. So, the next time you think of Moby-Dick, I invite you to shift your gaze. Look past the raging captain and the mythical whale. Look to the tattooed man sitting calmly by the forge, smoking his tomahawk pipe. In Queequeg, Melville planted a seed of a different world, a world not of conquest, but of community, not of obsession, but of grounded, graceful action. He is the unsung genius whose presence makes the story's tragedy not just bearable, but meaningful. He is the reason the great conversation of this novel continues, because he provided the life buoy that kept its sole witness afloat. Thank you for joining me for this dive into the depths. If this conversation resonated with you, I'd be so grateful if you'd share it with someone who loves a good story. You can find more episodes and explore the other stories we're unraveling at Light Knot Studios. https://www.lightknotstudios.com. I'm Abnul J. Farabi. Until next time, keep listening to the quiet voices. Sometimes, they're the ones telling the most important story of all.